Hi there, everyone. Hello, and welcome to today's Facebook live stream. My name is Pauline Limen, for those who are joining us for the very first time, and I am the founder of Star Reachers Community Initiative, a charity with a mission to raise aspiration and break the cycle of Black people underachievement in education, as well as promote the well-being of Black children, BME children, and their families. My passion, as you know, if you've been following me, is for empowering our young children with education, because I believe that education opens up doors of opportunity for our children. I believe that by empowering our children with academic excellence, they will rise up to become tomorrow's leaders, because our children, your child, my child, is a leader. And so we leaders are not born, leaders are made. And one of the gifts, the best gifts we can give our children, is empowering them with a good education. That is why I'm very, very passionate about it. Whatever I do, I come around it, because I've been in schools, I've worked in schools, and I see a lot of children not achieving their potential. Hi, Linda, thanks for joining us today. So I see a lot of children not achieving their potential, children of all ability groups, going through school without getting decent qualifications that could, open up doors of opportunities into amazing careers for them. And I call that a waste of potential. And we can't afford our children's potential to be wasted as they go through school. Your involvement makes a whole lot of a difference. And in today's live stream, we're going to be talking about how we can work together with school to be able to support children with challenging behavior. Behavioral issues are real issues that happen in school, and they cause a big problem, because they are a major contributory factor to ineffective teaching and learning happening in school. Because imagine a teacher having to manage 25, 30, or 35, or 33 children in a classroom who are all disruptive, they are poorly behaved, they are rude, they are not listening. There is no way even the best teacher will be able to teach children like that. And I believe that, as parents, it is your responsibility and my responsibility to ensure that we are raising up our kids. We have all the strategies, to raise up our children effectively, so that when they go outside, they can behave appropriately. It surprises me when, a child is given a detention for poor behavior, and the parent rings in saying, my child, can't do that, and my child can't do that. I believe there's no teacher that is going to pick on a child who is well behaved. And if you at home your child is well behaved, and they go to school and the behavior is different, then there is a problem there. Maybe they would have joined a bad group, and that is what we need to look into. So it's really important, therefore, that if you have a child that has a challenging behavior at home, it's very, very likely that they would be exhibiting challenging behavior in school. Now, if they are not challenging at home and it shows up in school, then it's important that you work in collaboration with the school to ensure that your child's behavior is managed appropriately. Because once they start to pick, on this child, and this child start to have, there's a trend showing the child poorly behaving all across the board, and it's not improving despite all strategies being used by school, that would eventually lead to pupil exclusions. So today we're going to talk about we're going to be discussing a few strategies that you can use. You can use to be able to work together with the school, with your child's teacher, or with the senior staff in your child's school, to ensure that you get the support, your child gets the support they need to be able to behave appropriately. Because when they're behaving appropriately, they are learning. And when they are learning, they're going to make academic progress, and they're going to do well in exams. So the first strategy I'm going to share with you, parents, is catch it early. Now, what do I mean by catch it early? It means that at the start of the school year, or intermittently during the school year, it's important that you check in on with your child teacher on how your child is behaving, on their focus, and things that you think you may be concerned about, especially if you think your child is not behaving appropriately at home. It's important that immediately, the child is back into school in September, that you are, if your child is in primary school, that you are talking to your child's teacher, maybe at the start of the school day, maybe at the end of the school day when teachers are releasing kids, just find out how is she doing, is she focusing, is she well behaved. That way you can pick it up early and ensure that the behavior, the behavior does not escalate. If your child is in secondary school, one thing you can do, children in secondary schools have got form tutors. So you could email your child's form tutor and ask them to send an email around to all your child's teachers, asking them for feedback about how your child is behaving. And that way you can pick up the subjects where your child is playing up in, and then start to work together with the teacher to address the issues. Now, it's important that even if you think the behavior that your child is being reprimanded for, you can't kind of relate to it, it's important to keep an open mind so that you can find out or get to the bottom of the problem. Because as I said, sometimes children just get influenced. They join a bad group of students or students who are not positive influences, and they start to behave likewise. If you think your child has qualities of a follower, you think is more of a follower than a leader, then it's very important to watch out for things like this. So the second thing, you need to do, if you start to see concerns, you start to see maybe emails coming home about your child's behavior, or they tell you your child has been given a detention, even if it is just one detention, it's important to pick on it from there. We don't want the detentions to build up, because so many detentions building up leads to the next level of discipline. So the second thing, arrange a meeting with your child's teacher to hear their point of view. Again, as you go to this meeting, please keep an open mind. Don't go in to fight and say they're being discriminatory, they're being racist, because I talk to parents, I work with parents who, we always use this issue of race to cover things up. And I think it's time we actually have to face, the bull by the horn. We can't continue to blame racism. I think there's no sane teacher who's going to pick on a child because they're black, okay? If the child is well behaved, the child is giving in their best effort, I don't think that child will be picked on. So present, your concerns and try to find out what exactly is happening. What is the teacher not happy about? Because sometimes when they write down, they write down reports, they don't kind of explain it. But by having this face-to-face meeting with your child's teacher, they can actually tell you exactly what is happening. Is it that your child is not focused? Is it just your child is talking across the classroom to someone else? Is it that your child is moving around the class, going out of their place while the lesson is going on, and that kind of thing? So you know exactly what you're dealing with. Because when you get a report home that says your child is poorly behaved, poor behavior might mean many things, but it's good to know exactly what the issue is. Now, the third thing, when you've known what the issue is, you need to talk to the class teacher. What strategy has she used? Now, if they say your child is easily disrupted or disrupts others, now you need to try to find out, how does it happen? What are the circumstances under which it happens? If your child is sat next to somebody who is chatty or with whom they disrupt the lesson, then we can start to talk about what can we do about this. Find out what they have used, what strategies they have used. What are the strategies the school has in place to be able to support your child. It could be moving your child away from a disruptive pupil. It could be you requesting for your child to be moved to the front of the classroom or sat down with somebody who is quiet and that kind of thing. So find out what they have done. We don't want to penalizing the children without actually using, every strategy that could be possibly used. Now, the fourth thing is to discuss strategies you believe works for your child. I believe as a parent, if there are strategies that you've used at home that you think would work, works for your child, you could share that with the teachers. Tell them, this is what I do when my child is a bit upset, when my child has a meltdown, when my child has this reaction or that reaction, this is what we do at home to be able to manage it. Teachers don't know everything. Yes, so as a parent, you would understand your child better, and you will be able to, you can actually make some really useful contributions to ensure or to support your child's teacher. 5, after you've spoken about what the issues are, then work with your child's teacher to come up with a plan. Okay, this is what we're going to do over this period of time. These are the strategies we will use. I would say you could talk to the teacher about putting your child on a monitoring report. Now, teachers would put children on monitoring report when poor behavior builds up to a certain level. But I think that if right at the start, I said before, catch it early. If right at the start, before it builds up, you suggest to your child's teacher in a meeting, okay, if this is a persistent issue and we've tried everything that is possible, why not put my child on a report? A report has targets, specific targets. It could be anything. Hi, Layo. Hi, Didi. Thank you, everyone, for joining. A monitoring report could be would have all the targets there, and you can also make some suggestions of targets. Remember, what you want to achieve is to ensure that your child is well behaved, is learning in school, is not being repeatedly picked on because of poor behavior, which eventually affects their self-esteem and the eventual outcome. So we want to, hi Mirel, thank you for joining us this evening live. So we want to ensure really that we are working together. So we've got the aspect of the monitoring report, and then we also have the praise report. Now, schools tend to use praise reports. Praise reports, I think work really well, and I would recommend that you suggest that a praise report is put in place for your child. A praise report is simply where the teachers are told not to give any negative comments to a child in each lesson, and all the teachers could talk about is what the child is doing positively. So pick out something good in the child. It's a bit like working on improving a child's self-esteem, because what happens is that when children go through the cycle of negative comment, and negative comment, it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It damages their self-esteem. But by using a praise report in school and at home, so while that is going on in school, you could set one up at home, and you could say, for example, to your child, maybe John, for example, that every day, John, if you come back from school and you've had ticks or you've had stars on your report, you're going to get a star at home as well. And at the end of 1 week, we're going to, give you a reward. So that's that one. And we could do that initially for a period of 2 weeks and then review it. It's important to keep connecting with your child's teacher to find out how is it going. Number 6, I've said here, have your own star chart at home to reward daily or weekly progress. Now, if it's a severe behavioral problem, I'll recommend rewarding daily. If it's not as severe, I would say let's reward weekly or even 2 weekly. So depending on what the scale of the problem is. Number 7, ask the teacher to inform you if there are any new concerns. Now, I imagine that for parents of children, especially in primary school, it's really easy to do that. Each time you go to pick your child, maybe once a week or once in 2 weeks, or maybe once a month, depending on how you think your child is doing or how you think your child's behavior is, you could maybe just quickly say, oh, how's my child doing? Are they settled now? Are they focusing? And that kind of thing. And you quietly ask them, and if it is something that needs addressing, then you might again need to make an appointment to actually sit down with the teacher, not her, and talk about what to do about it. Finally, number 8, really important, keep encouraging your child when they make progress. Yes? So when children have gone through this system of negativity where all they hear is you're not doing well, you're answering back to the teachers, you're doing this and you're doing that, it really does damage your self-esteem. So as a parent, really, your role is to support your child as you work with the school to take them through this process. You want to be able to also encourage them to say, okay, you did really well today. Well done. Keep it up. I believe in you. I believe you can do it. There is greatness in you. There's great potential in you. Believe in yourself. Don't give in to that and don't give in to that. So those are the sort of things we can do to help our children or to help a child that has behavioral challenges. Now, if you think it's an anger problem, you could speak with a teacher. They do have specialist teachers who could run anger management workshops, social skills, and things like that, depending on what the problem is, to be able to help your child or help a child who has challenging behavior. So those are the 8 things I've said. I'm going to run through them really quickly for those who've just joined us. Thank you, everyone here today. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to run through the 8 things I have said. Number 1, catch it early. So we don't want that negative report being given to us during parents' evening, which is maybe in the 2nd or 3rd term. We don't want to receive that negative report or to get our kids put on report without us actually being able to follow up our child's behavior. Secondly, meet your child's teacher to find out what exactly is happening. Next, find out from your child's teacher what strategies they've put in place. Have they worked? How has your child or how is your child responding to those strategies? Next, discuss what you think works at home for you, because your child is your child, and I believe you should have really the best strategies in place to be able to deal with your child. Next, you need to work with your child's teacher to come up with a plan to support your child. And I've mentioned things like positive or star charts. I've mentioned things like putting your child on monitoring report. Monitoring reports are amazing at helping children start to behave appropriately. It could be requests for extra support, maybe to help children manage their anger. It could be extra support to help a child develop social skills if you think the child does not relate well with other children, and so on. There's a lot of support that schools have got in place for children. Next, have your own strategy at home. So like a star chart that you can use to be able to help, that will be going alongside what is going on in school, or that actually you could even use regularly at home to manage your either behavior, or to get your child to learn a new habit, or to get a child to do something that they would not normally do. Children love rewards, and a star chart with a good reward system, getting your child to choose what reward they want, is powerful at making children do the things that they would not normally do naturally or ordinarily. Next, ask the teacher so keep in touch with your teacher, ask them to keep you informed of any concerns they've got. And finally, encourage your child. You want to replace all the negativity with positive messages, with messages of self-belief, with messages that will help build up their faith in themselves, in their ability, in their potential to do well in school. Now, last week I did share a 90-day training program to support parents who have children with challenging behavior. And it's received a lot of interest. Actually, I've had lots of parents contact me. Now, in the next 2 weeks, that 90-day course is going to start. And I do promise you that if you join, you're going to be fully equipped with tools, with strategies you need to be able to regain control. It's a shame that a lot of parents have lost total control over the children. The children have just taken over the scene at home, but you want to regain your control as a parent. You want to take charge of your home again. So if that is something, or someone who is in that situation, in the next 2 weeks, we're going to start the 90-day course to support parents. If you are interested, please send me or inbox me, send me a personal message, and then we're going to take it from there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. David, KG, thank you for joining, and everyone else. I want to say a big thank you. I hope this has been helpful. If it has been helpful, please let me know. Type up a message so I can know that, yes, it has been helpful. And if you think there is any parent struggling with a child who has a challenging behavior in school and you think this might help them, please do not hesitate to share. Please like the Facebook page, Star Richards Community Initiative, if you haven't done so yet. Okay, so we've come to the end of it. I will be back again next Thursday. Have a lovely week or weekend. Okay, and see you next Thursday. God bless you. Bye-bye.